now 2 races left in the 2014 season. The FARC LoBo Truck Tour now heads to its penultimate race at the Salem Speedway in Indiana. Jeremy Baker holds a 40-point lead over Mike Howard, and while Gio Arias in third is still technically mathematically eligible, he is not in the field today. Arias was the only driver other than Howard that was within a 1-race distance of Baker. However, that will no longer be the case after today. Most you can earn in a single race is 110 points, and depending on the field size at the finale at Texas, which I'm going to say will be about 30 trucks, the points difference between first with bonuses and 30th is close to 90 points. So unless something drastic happens today, it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse battle for the title at Texas. Also some team news for you. The Johnson family racing team, who was scheduled to be here this week, did not show up. Of course, speculation has been within the last couple of weeks that their NPCC operation is apparently running the team dry, and that appears to be true. Chuck Johnson currently leads the NPCC points going into the finale of that series, and it's reported that to even show up at that finale, something had to go, and apparently it was the truck operation. The team has also laid off a number of employees, so definitely some financial issues with that team, as they're not making their scheduled appearance this week, and they will likely not be at the finale at Texas either. The team has not commented on the situation. Kind of what you would expect for a small family-run team attempting to run a late model series that goes to tracks like Long Beach and the road course at Austin. And then when you realize that that series is now being run by Eric Derenberger, that says it all right there. Well, but anyway, I have rambled enough. Let's get on with the race. For the second week in a row, Bradley Carlisle is on the mile pole. Lawrence Verse starting on his outside as they take the green flag, as Berg gets a terrible start, as Richard Scott now moves up into second, tries to make a move on Carlisle already as they go into the repaved turns 3 and 4. As you're going to see, the outside is the preferred line, as Carlisle is going to pull away from Scott. Carlisle, of course, won the previous 2 races and is trying to go for 3 in a row. Championship contenders Jamie Baker and Mike Howard are off to much better starts than they were last week in Chicago. Baker currently running in the 6th position, Howard running in 7th. I think Baker's goal for today is just to keep Howard in his mirrors. He has a pretty comfortable lead over Howard, which is 40 points, and I think he wants to maintain that going into the final race at Texas. Angel Gray is currently running in 5th. However, she is way down in points, enough to where she probably won't be eligible for the championship come the finale. Even in the best case scenario for Gray, if Jeremy Baker finishes last today and Gray finishes where she is now, being that this is an 18 truck field, the difference would only be about 25 points. And being that Gray is over 100 points out of the lead, it would put her back in mathematical contention, but it'd be a long shot at best. There's someone else that was disappointed after Chicago last week, and that is Luke Pallerman, who once again had the win taken away from him due to something out of his control. He started in 7th, but quickly dropped out of the top 10 due to starting on the inside, which is really not the line you want to be in, as right now Pallerman currently running in the, I believe, the 11th position. Back to the battle between the championship contenders. Mike Howard is still sticking with Jeremy Baker. He's going to have to find some way. Oh, the engine's gone on the 56! Mike Howard, who was second in points, has just blown up on lap 17. This will result in a last place finish for Howard, and this could very well cost him a shot at the championship. A few laps after that, the leaders are going to catch the tail end of the field. As you can see, Bradley Carlisle still in the lead, as Richard Scott has just got passed for second by Osvaldo Ramirez. As Scott is, Scott's got a problem now. Cut tire on the 27, as he's going to bring that truck to pit road, and it's going to lose 3 laps in the process. But back up front, Bradley Carlisle having a hard time getting around Izzy Johnson on the inside, and although Johnson is slower than Carlisle, the outside is the preferred line, and Johnson's going to hold off Carlisle, but Osvaldo Ramirez is going to use that to his advantage and get around Carlisle for the lead, and get around Johnson as well. After Richard Scott's issue, Jeremy Baker now runs in 5th, with Mike Howard out of the race. If Jeremy Baker maintained this position, he could very well seal up the title. Baker, of course, is the only regular who has won a race this season and was one of the preseason favorites along with Howard to win the championship. And with Howard now out, it looks like Baker's going to do that. Meanwhile, back up front, Riley Carlisle's gotten back the lead as he's now stuck behind Jesus Ignacio Chavez III as Philip Borland hits the wall. Lawrence Burr has now gone around his teammate Osvaldo Ramirez for a second and is going to use Borland as a pick to get around Carlisle for the lead. As Ramirez is now going to try to make a move on Carlisle for second on the outside as Carlisle still stuck behind Chavez. As Ramirez is going to take the position, Carlisle now drops back to third. Gabriel Messina is back making his third start of the season in the 77 truck. Messina has not started a truck race since Langhorne at the beginning of the season, which he almost won as a matter of fact. Now we touched upon a little bit at Chicago about the road to redemption of sorts that Messina has gone through this season after causing 2 wrecks which injured multiple drivers at the New York Auto Ring earlier in the season. He's got 2 Elite Series wins to his credit since then, so I think it's safe to say he's redeemed himself. Patrick Johansson currently running in the 7th position, and more importantly, he's not blown up yet. Red Wing Racing has revealed after Chicago that they're down to their last engine. That just shows you the problems that they've been having in that department. Johansson is tied for the most DNFs this season with 7. 5 of them are because of engines. Back up front, Lawrence Burr still in the lead, now having a hard time getting around Dylan Andrew. Osvaldo Ramirez still in second as you see him going on the outside, as Burr still stuck behind Andrew on the inside. He's going to get a run going into 3, as here comes Carlisle as well. Ramirez is going to get the lead, and it looks like Carlisle is also going to get second, as they also get around Andrew as a result, and now they got to try to navigate around John Burr. Jerry Baker still in 5th in some heavy lap traffic right now, as here comes Patrick Johansson on the outside to take the 5th spot. He's also going to lose 6 to Gabriel Messina as he's continuing to get freight trained. Never thought I'd say that term on a short track, but it's kind of true. You're pretty much a sitting duck on the inside, but it doesn't stop there. Baker's now going to lose the 7th spot to Stacy St. Martin, and it looks like he's also going to lose the 8th spot to Vincenzo Focasato as Baker drops all the way to 9th. Luke Pellerin, who finally got back on the top 10, is going to be put into the wall by Jesus Ignacio Chavez III. I'm sure that's the last person Pellerin wants to see get into him, especially after Chicago. I don't know what Chavez's problem with Pellerin is, but it looked pretty obvious that he put him into the wall there. And after refusing to get out of Pellerin's way last week in Chicago, I don't know. But thankfully, 2 laps later, Karma would smack Chavez in the face as the engine on the 35 truck is going to grenade on him. It's funny how things work out, doesn't it? Lawrence Burr would lose the top 2 as he's now stuck behind 2 of the lap cars. John Burr and Andrew gets together. Is going to come up right in front of Lawrence Burr. As you see, everything appears to be fine here as they attempt to drive away, but here comes Angel Gray with nowhere to go into Lawrence Burr. That's going to take Burr out of the race from 3rd as the first caution of the day comes out just shy of halfway. Here's an odd boy shot of Gray as I don't think there's really anything Gray could do to avoid that. She commits to the inside, she attempts to slow down and just clips the front end of Burr's truck, and that's going to be another DNF for Gray. I mean, can't she catch a break? Everybody would pit under that caution, and just as the lap truck's about to come into pit road, John Burr, who drove away from the incident, is going to blow up coming into pit road. So that's going to take him out of the race as well, even though it looked like he was going to drive away from the initial wreck. Osvaldo Ramirez would beat everybody off of pit road and would lead on the restart. Bradley Carlisle still in second as Richard Scott gets a terrible start on the inside, as Ramirez already gets a bit of a gap, and all this is trouble behind them as the caution is back out as Ramirez goes through 3 and 4 as Ramirez beats everybody back to the caution. Let's see what happened here. As we touched upon earlier, Richard Scott gets a terrible start, stacks up the entire inside line. That's going to allow Dan Cloud to get into the back of him. That's going to get Cloud loose and allow Dylan Andrew to get to the back of him. And then it's pretty much an accordion effect from there, involving 4 or 5 other trucks, including points to the Jeremy Baker, as Cloud's going to drive away with this with minimal damage. Here's another angle of it, as you're going to see the contact between Scott and Cloud. They're going to see Andrew get into the back of Cloud, and it's pretty much going to cause an accordion effect from there. Really no other way to describe it. As you can see, Luke Pellerin, St. Martin got a piece of it, as well as Vincenzo Focasato. Here's Jeremy Baker's on board. As you're going to see, there's really little time to react at all, as he slams hard into the back of Pellerin's truck, and it may not look like it being that he drives away from this, but that's going to punch a hole in the radiator of the 36 truck, and that's going to take Jeremy Baker out of the race, as well as Luke Pellerin. While this may be bad for Baker, this is the best thing to happen to Mike Howard, as the damage that he's going to suffer in points will not be as great. Osvaldo Ramirez is going to once again lead on the restart, as he's going to get a nice jump over Bradley Carlisle, as Richard Scott gets another terrible start. And like before, he's going to stack up the entire inside line. Izzy Johnson gets hooked by Dale Clow. He's going to come back up into traffic, clips Vincenzo Focasato, and the caution's back out again, as Johnson is going to drive away from this. Riding along with Focasato now, as he's pretty much an innocent victim in this, as he just barely gets clipped in the left rear quarter panel by Johnson. And as you can see, there's some pretty substantial damage on the 37 truck, but Focasato's going to keep going. Matter of fact, no one will retire from the race from this incident. And once again, Osvaldo Ramirez leads on the restart. However, he doesn't get as big of a jump on Bradley Carlisle as he did last time, and Richard Scott has another terrible start, as we're seeing the same song and dance again, which is almost going to cause another huge mess, but thankfully they sort it out, and we get more than one green flag lap in this time. I have no idea what's up with Scott's truck on these restarts, that he's stacked up the inside line on every one of them, but thankfully he doesn't cause a wreck this time. Due to the attrition rate of this race, both Izzy Johnson and Dale Clow are currently in the top 10, with there being 11 trucks left. Richard Scott is behind him. He's 3 laps down. Both Johnson and Clow are 1 lap down. Clow has not finished in the top 10 all season, so this is going to be a stunning upset indeed. Here is the battle for 4th now, and it is between Stacy St. Martin and Patrick Johansson. Never thought I'd say that this season, especially how Johansson's season is gone, as they're not going to run into some lap traffic, as St. Martin now tries to get around Dylan Andrew, whose truck looks like it's been through a war zone, as St. Martin's going to quickly get around Andrew on the outside, and now it's got to deal with Philip Borland. As she continues to try to do so, St. Martin has done an excellent job trying to shed her wrecker reputation. She's been in the top 5 in points for most of the season, which really isn't that hard, being there's only 9 trucks running for the title. As she's got a run on Borland now, she's all over the back bumper. Oh, she gets it in the back of Borland, comes back up, nearly misses Patrick Johansson, and comes back down into St. Martin. Here comes the rest of the field as Richard Scott gets into it, and that's another wreck that Dylan Andrews in. And looks like I spoke too soon about St. Martin. Here's an on-board shot of Johansson. You're going to see how close this really is as Borland comes back up right in front of him, as Johansson is lucky he escaped that unscathed. But anyway, Richard Scott, Stacy St. Martin, and Philip Borland would all retire from the race as a result of this wreck. As you're going to see, there are only 8 trucks remaining, as we got a little under 30 laps to go. Once again, Osvaldo Ramirez leads on the restart, as he and Bradley Carlisle quickly get around Dale Clow, who, due to the attrition rate, is now running in 7th. So he's going to get a good result based off everybody wrecking, and someone's in the wall back there, as Ramirez is going to hold the lead for now. And let's see who that was in the wall, and it was Patrick Johansson, who's running in 4th, and as a result of this, he's going to lose 4th to Vincenzo Focasato, who's got a ton of damage on that truck, as Johansson's going to quickly lose the group here. And that's not the worst thing that's going to happen to Johansson, as he's going to hear a very familiar sound, and it is the sound of his engine failing. So there goes the last engine that team had, as he had a top 5 run going, and it all goes up in smoke, just like it has numerous times this season. Why do I get the feeling that the racing gods don't like the regulars today, as this now leaves Vincenzo Focasato and Dale Clow as the only remaining regulars in the race. But do you know what this means? This will now put Dale Clow in the 5th position, as he's just gotten around Dylan Andrew for that position. They're both 1 lap down. Dale Clow, who has been known for nothing more this season than being off the pace and being in everybody's way, and as his competition has fallen to the wayside, he has stayed out of trouble for the most part today, and as a result is going to get a top 5 finish, and I for one am totally shocked. And further adding on to Clow's fortunes, which has benefited from the misfortunes of others, Vincenzo Focasato is going to come into pit road. The team was reporting a tire rub on the 37 truck. Well, judging from the damage on that truck, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But anyway, he's going to come into pit road to get some of that damage fixed, and will lose 2 laps as a result. This would move Dale Clow up to 4th. I mentioned earlier about how the racing gods hated the regulars today. They must obviously love Dale Clow for whatever reason. Meanwhile, back up front, Osvaldo Ramirez, who has dominated this race, is going to run into Dylan Andrew, and is going to be held up by him as he tries to pass him on the inside. That's not going to work. The inside's not the preferred line, as here comes Bradley Carlisle with a full head of steam on the outside line, as we're now under 10 laps to go, as Carlisle's going to take the lead going into 1. as Ramirez is still stuck behind Andrew. Bradley Carlisle, as he continues to pull away from Ramirez, has set himself into a groove these last couple of weeks, winning the last 2 races. He won the Regional Cup National title last season. First half of this season in trucks has been riddled with bad luck, although he did show a lot of speed, and now he will move on to Desert Star Motorsports' Elite Series team next season, and it's a well-deserved ride. And as he continues to pull away from Osvaldo Ramirez, Bradley Carlisle will make it 3 in a row as he takes the victory here at Salem. Osvaldo Ramirez led 61 of the 100 laps, earning him the most laps led bonus. However, he will not win this one as he got passed by Carlisle within the final 10 laps. Gabriel Messina has a quiet run in 3rd, the only other truck on the lead lap. And here is the biggest upset of the race, possibly the season. Dale Clow is the highest finishing regular in 4th, despite being 2 laps down, and also gets the hard charger bonus. It looked like was the only back marker that wasn't wrecking people or getting in everybody's way. He stayed out of trouble for the most part today, and this is the results. As it is now official, hell has frozen over. Dylan Andrew gets his best finish of the season in 5th, 2 laps down. Izzy Johnson finishes in 6th, the last truck 2 laps down, and Vincenzo Focasato, the last truck to finish the race, finishes in 7th, 4 laps down, after a tire rub forced him to come in from 4th. Everybody from 8th on back did not finish the race, starting off with Patrick Johansson, who of course blew up with a little over 20 laps to go. His status for the finale is unknown, as that was the last engine the team had. And Stacey St. Martin and Philip Borland round out the top 10 after being taken out in the lap 68 caution. And now, here are the point standings with only 1 race remaining. As you can see, only 2 drivers will be able to win the championship at Texas in a couple of weeks' time. Jeremy Baker holds a 52-point lead over Mike Howard. If Baker finishes 13th or better at Texas, he will lock up the title regardless of what Howard does in that race, even if Howard wins the race, gets the pole, and leads the most laps, which, to be honest, is very unlikely. Mike Howard, despite finishing last today, does stay within striking distance of Baker. He's going to have some work to do, but it is possible, as it could have been disastrous for his title hopes had Baker not wrecked out as well today, as Howard is not out of this just yet. Take a look what happened at the opener at Texas World. Baker wrecked out early in that race while Howard finished in the top 10. There's a possibility we could see that again at Texas. Not wishing bad luck on Baker, but I'm just saying anything could happen. Kind of fitting that one of these 2 drivers will win the championship. They were predicted to be the favorites to win the title before the season even started, and here we are, entering the final race of the season, and they're the only 2 left. Everybody else you see in red are eliminated. Stacey St. Martin jumps up to 3rd in the standings, despite not finishing the race. However, she's still credited with a 9th place finish. Vincenzo Focasato moves up to 4th with a 7th place run. However, he could have done much better than that if it wasn't for a tire rub. Angel Gray remains in 5th. However, she could possibly be up there fighting for the championship with Baker and Howard if it wasn't for her horrible luck this season, as we've touched upon numerous times throughout the year. Richard Scott is in 6th. Remember, he did not race at Kentucky or Boston. Gio Arias drops down to 7th. He was in 3rd, however, he did not start today, so it was pretty obvious that he was not going to stay there. Dale Clow moves up into the top 10 in points for, I believe, only the 2nd time this season. After finishing 4th, he is now ranked over 3 other regulars, which I don't think anybody could have predicted. Bradley Carlisle moves into the top 10 despite missing 3 races. However, winning 3 straight will do that for you. And Jesus Ignacio Chavez further drops in the standings. He's now 10th. But all eyes will be on Jeremy Baker and Mike Howard as the 2 fight for the 2014 FARC LoBo Truck Tour Championship as they prepare for the season finale, the FARC Lone Star Championships at the Texas Motor Speedway.